This is following on from my previous upload where I did a blow-by-blow account of what I did on the RIP tour at this year's Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. If you haven't seen that one and it sounds like something you'd like to check out, please give it a watch. This is just a quickish ranking of where I think the houses are. Like my last one, I don't have any footage from inside the houses. You're not allowed to record in there, so if that's what you want, there are lots of other great YouTubers that show footage from in there from the preview nights. On to the ranking. At 10th place, I've put Doll's Let's Play Dead. This is unfortunate as it's still good and I genuinely enjoyed all the houses, but I have to put one in this place. In terms of its look, this house is one of the most, if not the absolute most, visually impressive. I think I probably didn't get the best run in here though. I saw lots of people in front of me and behind me get the big scares, and they mostly missed me out. And I did like the idea of having interactive buttons, but other people tended to get to these before me. It's still an incredible design though, but possibly the main reason I put it here in last place as well is the smell. It has that sort of plasticine-ish smell, which is great for what should be a kid's house, but it's just one that I don't find very pleasant. This one is controversial, but at number 9 I'm putting what is the most popular house this year, Five Nights at Freddy's. To say what's good in this one is easy. The costumes and animatronics are just superb. I really hope they do something with these again after Halloween and incorporate it all year round in some way in the park, as they're just too good not to use. The reason it's low ranked is I've never really played the games, so I don't have that connection with them, and the film was also one I didn't love. Apart from again in the film the costumes and animatronics were good. And I did quite like Josh Hutcherson. It does try hard to put in references to the film, but my main problem out of all of this is it's just not really scary compared to the others. If you do get a chance, this is mostly worth seeing just to see how amazing Freddy and his friends look, but for me there are some much funner houses coming up. For number 8, I'm going with Grave of Flesh. I do feel bad putting this here as it was still great fun to walk around. They're just all so high quality. I loved all of them from here onwards. I said with the Doll's House, I had a walkthrough where I didn't get many big scares, but in this one it was the total opposite and I got hit by absolutely everything. I was targeted in here and it was an ordeal to get through, but still great fun. For the good in this, I really like the start of the house where you look up to your own grave. It just looks very cool, and this is one of the most atmospheric houses. I would say that the negative here is that although it looks fantastic with the dirt walls, it does get a bit samey throughout. It totally works for the storage of the house, but there are some with a bit more variety coming up that worked better for me. I've been going back and forth between 6 and 7, but I think for now at 7 I'm going to put Fallout. This house looked great, and at the end it has the power armour that just looks incredible. There is also a really good effect in this one for gunshots with blasts of air flying past you. I also like that much of this house just felt like you were actually in scenes of the show, and the scare actors here did a great job. I think I didn't put this higher as this is definitely towards the less scary houses, and there are scenes directly out of the show, but I don't know if all these flowed perfectly as a house narrative, and it may not be the best house for you if you're not too familiar with it. I do really enjoy the show though, and I did have a fantastic time in this. For number 6, it has to be Jason Universe. I was flip-flopping between this and Fallout, but I've just given Jason the edge due to the end of the house. In the final couple of moments you walk down a hall of Jasons, and there are various versions of him that pop out in his different costumes from the films. This is easily the most intense couple of seconds of everything I did on the night, and it's a fantastic end. The reason this just misses the top half is because even though the end is amazing, and I like the part in the middle with his mum, other than that, the rest of the house isn't quite as memorable as the other houses. It is an incredible ending though. Kicking off the top half at number 5, it was the house I was most looking forward to before coming, the WWE Horrors of the Wyatt 6. I've talked about how much I love wrestling in my other loads around the Horror Nights, and this one was just a fun time. There are lots of cool Easter eggs in here, and it did feel like a great tribute to Bray Wyatt. The house also has some good variety in there with different areas for each member of the Wyatt 6. I also feel that despite being an IP house, this feels like the most non-IP of the IPs. It does help that it doesn't have just a film or a show they're directly trying to fit in. They got to go a bit more strange, and I think it works whether you're a wrestling fan or not. Here's hoping they have some more wrestling houses in the future for some other interesting characters. At 4, it is the first house that I visited for the night and my first ever horror house, El Artista, A Spanish Haunting. I do feel that this was helped on the night by visiting as part of the tour, as our guide Stefania did an amazing job explaining what we were going into, and this definitely felt like the central house of the year. The house looks fantastic, and it also has some really impressive effects that I didn't expect. There are some hooded figures with faces that light up that looks really amazing, and in one bit there's even a gargoyle swinging above you on a rope. If I was a scare actor, that's the job I'd like to do. I would say this one had some big scares, but then again it might just be because it was the first time I'd ever visited a house and never experienced this before. But it was just a great introduction to them. In my films to prepare upload, I watched Goya's Ghost for this, and I couldn't have been more wrong. But if someone did make an actual movie based on this house, I have no doubt it would be amazing. It's top 3 time, and at number 3 I'm choosing the last IP house, Terrifier. Out of all of the houses, this is probably the most fun. I might not love the Terrifier films, but as a character, Art is up there with the greatest horror icons ever created, and this is the perfect setting for him. Through this, you see several of his most disgusting moments throughout the house. There's lots of smells, jumps, and also lots of laughs. I also really like the wet ending, which definitely gives it a different experience. Then just as you get through that and think you're done, you get one last scare from a headless Art. I've put this at 3, but I feel that what gets most people talking about the horror nights is the IP houses. And if you're only going to visit one, then this was my favourite of them. You'd have a blast in here. If you don't leave it singing the Clown Cafe song to yourself, then there's something wrong with you.
Drop on by the Clown Cafe.
Just missing out on the top spots at number 2 is HHN. This house starts off good before you even enter, with the design outside being the most impressive on the night. And as someone who is just a fan of westerns in general, this is a real blast to go through. The scare actors in here are all superb, and alongside Dolls, this is probably the most visually appealing house. I also felt like it's probably the house that has the most complete narrative you can follow. There are a few fun houses this year, and this is definitely up there near the top of them, but this also balanced well with big scares, and it got me a few times in this. The balance just seemed to be spot on. Number 1 time then, and my favourite house this year was Galkan. Before coming, I wasn't really sure what to expect with the non-IP houses, but if you're only here for a short time and can only go in a few, I would highly recommend that you prioritise going in this one. This one had a great build of scares throughout, and it felt more and more tense as you went on. It has the perfect mix of design, story, costumes, and even props at the end with a puppet or animatronic or whatever it was. It doesn't matter what it was, it just gave me the perfect scare. That's the ranking then, but as I said, I still enjoyed all the houses, and the quality throughout them all was just so strong. There are none that I didn't enjoy, and I'm glad I went through all of them. I don't know when I'll be lucky enough to get a chance to do this again in Florida, but I'm so thankful that I have managed to do it, and it's genuinely one of the most entertaining nights I've had for years. I'll still have a few more uploads from this holiday to come, so keep an eye out for them. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.